Getting back together with an ex, it's a process, not an event. Getting back together with an ex demands much thought. Or at least it should do. See, the result might be incredible. Sparks may fly and wedding bells ring. But what if it turns freakish? All terrible and disgusting, an experience you'd rather not talk about. I invite you to read on and see which of the two, incredible or freakish, lay before you. If, like me, you don't own a working crystal ball, you'll want to instead rely on good old-fashioned common sense. Then you can better decide whether to fight for your ex at all. Should you get back together? After my last breakup, I wondered what it would be like to be alone again. And, just between you and me, and now Google, I honestly pondered whether I'd ever find love again. Feelings like that will really screw with your head if you're not prepared. I imagine you can see how those type of thoughts can warp your vision. Sure, they will. As such, try to not let those, or similar thoughts, cloud your judgment when deciding if you should get back together. Point 1: effective way to suspend such distracting thoughts is to ask yourself direct questions. Okay, I'm about to spring 5 questions at you. But don't fret, they're really simple. And you don't need to write down any answers. This is not a quiz. No, the purpose of these questions is to help you get a reading of sorts on whether you and your ex are compatible. For the following questions, just answer each with either, not at all, somewhat, or very much. Go with your first immediate answer. Don't deliberate on me now. 1. Disagreements happen, but how well did you both deal with disagreements? How understanding were you both to one another? 2. Goals, were you both in alignment? Did you want similar things in life? 3. Laughter, did you share a similar sense of humor? Could you laugh together, often? 4. Sex, did you enjoy it? Was it fulfilling for you both? 5. Communication, were you both open to one another, interested in each other's life, informed? Remember, this is not a quiz. There is nothing to add up. I just wanted to give your brain some direct questions about your relationship. The quiz is just a tool. It forces you to take a closer look at your compatibility. Understand, it's possible to respond not at all to all of the above, and still have an ex who you may have a great future with. I know, what is that about? The thing is, you both might be able to resolve some of your issues and put your relationship back on the straight and narrow. Anyway, hopefully you got a little clearer on your situation. A little surer, perhaps? Don't fret too much. Getting back with an ex is not life or death. You can always change tracks again down the line. Avoiding unnecessary grief is definitely a bonus though. How to get back together. It's not possible for me to convey all that I would like in just this one article. There are fully fledged products on the marketplace that go into great detail on how to get an ex back. With that said, let's look at where most people go wrong in their quest to win their ex back. Let's talk a little about human nature. As in, the characteristics that you and I share, along with everybody else. These are the things which are common in all of us, deep down in our core, which influence us in everything we do. For example, let's take attraction. Wouldn't you agree that a weak and needy person is, by human nature, unattractive? You would, because there's something common in all of us that finds desperateness an unattractive quality. We just aren't wired that way. Guess how most people react when they're dumped? Consider this. Your ex most likely fell for you in the first place because you were, at least in some respects, a confident and positive person to be around. You surely demonstrated an array of strengths, which to your ex, compelled them toward you. In short, you were a compelling proposition. Where most people go wrong at the breakup point is this: they become needy and desperate. They become the very type of person that we're just not wired to find attractive. In fact, we want to put distance between them and us. Can you see that? The natural response to a breakup is of course to fall apart emotionally, and thus become that desperate shadow of our former self. That's the kicker here. You have to actually fight your natural reaction to the breakup, to the idea of being alone, and the idea of your ex finding someone else. Do you see how your ex holds the power here? You need to turn the tables and regain composure, or else you might ruin your chance of getting your ex back for good. Mind tricks, they say your mind is your worst enemy. Ask any poor unfortunate soul whose partner has cheated on them if they are driven mad by the disturbing images in their mind. Of course they are. They're thinking of their partner with that other person, and what they might have got up to. And that hurts. Worse, it's almost impossible to not think about it. Because the more you try not to, the more you are doing it. Back to your ex, you can benefit from gently planting your own seeds into their mind. Though actually, they do the planting for you. How? Well, when you give your ex space to breathe, and move just outside their radar, they no longer get any feedback on you. This means, they no longer know how you are, or what you might be thinking. Without this feedback, and it only takes a short while, your ex may begin to fill in the gaps with assumptions. And often, the brain has a habit of inserting ideas worse than reality. The mind is cruel. These thoughts tend to be played on loop. For example, why is he not phoning? Has she found someone else? What is he up to? I bet he's with such and such from work. The not knowing bit can really pick away at you. And what if the only feedback your ex gets is that you look happy, you're outgoing, and positive? Remember, if your ex is to get any feedback at all, it is probably better if you give that impression instead of one where you mope around and look depressed. Wink. Of course, you'll want to be careful how you do this. For example, the no contact concept is sound, but it is easy to overdo it. And if you do, you fail.